SQL is a really nice and interesting and beautiful language for fetching data and analyzing data. Just need to overcome some of the interesting complexities of it, and then it all becomes so simple. So basically we have three parts in SQL: the select, in SQL where we query for data. We have the select part where we define which columns we want to return. It's like which variables do we want, which data. Then we have the from, which is like the focus, the main table that we want to focus on and get the data from. And then join. Join, I think of it as subtables, because we have the from, which says I want to get the data from this table. However, some of the data is not in this table, it's in other tables, so we need to use the join. So we have the from and then from join with. This is why the join comes right after the from, because the join is actually telling, yes, I do want to take the data from this table. However, when you take the data from this table, then join it with some other tables. And then there are a few gotchas in the joins. Because if we use inner join and we join on a specific ID, let's say that we have this ID in our table and on the join table, so it's enough for this ID to appear multiple times at one table, such that we would get multiple rows with this ID. So, and even more than that, if we have this ID multiple times in our table, and then multiple times on the join tables, the same ID. Let's say that you have the ID 555 or 666 on your table, but multiple times in multiple rows, and you have the ID 666 multiple times on the other tables. So if I had it 4 times on my table and 4 times on the other table, then I would get 4x4, which is 16 rows joined with the table, because the first row would get joined with 4 rows on the other table, the second row with 4 rows on the other table, the third row with 4 rows on the other table, and the fourth row with 4 rows on the other table. So we get 4 times 4. So there are a lot of small gotchas like this. Similar gotcha is on the where clause. On the where clause, so when we want to check if something is null, then as opposed to standard numbers, we don't do equal the equal sign and then null. We write is null or is not null. So those are some gotchas that we need to get over with, and once we get over them, then it all becomes so fluent. SQL becomes so fluent, but need to get over these basic gotchas. Also, another gotcha is the differences in between inner joins and left joins and right joins. Basically, if we need to think of what it's doing, then it means we don't understand them well enough. And the only way I think to understand them good enough is to write real complex SQLs. I don't think it's enough to take examples of simple SQL and to practice the joins and to practice the null. It's really a must to write real complex SQLs, and then we become super fluent with it and we like it, I think, probably as any topic. So basically in the left join is when we need some data from the other table, but it does not always exist there. Okay, so let's say that we have a table with all the discovered viruses of last year. So if we join this table with all the remedies to these viruses, then not all viruses have remedies, so it's possible that we would have null on the remedies. But we do want to get the remedies for the viruses that do have remedies. So we join with the viruses table with the remedies table, but we probably want to do a left join so that we would get a null in the places where we do a left join. So the left refers to the from. So the from is on the left side of the join, which means we want to select all the rows from the form, and because it's a left on the form, then the left would always be there, and if there is nothing on the joined table, then we would get a null. This was a brief overview and some motivation and null stuff on SQL and how I refer to it, and we can, of course, we will continue to discuss SQL because I think it's a very interesting topic to discuss.